Hello, this is chat take 3. I'm up at the wonderful Mump, Killerton, National Trust property. Was once an Iron Age settlement. It's got a real lovely vibe. I was going to try and get my drone out, but it started raining. So I don't think it's waterproof, so I just thought I'd hang around here for a minute. Maybe it'll stop. Remembrance Sunday. Not a fan. They've always got to take a tragic event and turn it into a patriotic stimulus. You know, wherever you have Remembrance Sunday, you have the Union Jack flag and military with their medals, like, you know, some just turning something that's very sad and very devastating to so many people. It affected so many people. We can't even imagine the effects still happening now. We take an event like that and then try to turn it into a patriotic promotion. So sad. Saw a post on Facebook yesterday, and it was of a First World War soldier laying on the ground embracing his dead horse. And you know, that is a sad image, isn't it? I'm an animal lover. I don't eat them. I don't eat them because I love them. And it said animals gave their lives too. Animals are slaughtered in their millions. People were slaughtered in their millions. Animals, for instance, they didn't give their life. They didn't sacrifice themselves, did they? They didn't have a choice. They were exploited. And in a similar way, you know, people were exploited, manipulated. People are still manipulated and exploited today. People think they have a choice. And we do. But we're fed ideas. And then we buy into those ideas. We adopt those ideas as our own. We don't look deep enough. You know, lest we forget. Lest we forget. We haven't learnt our lessons. Wars are still rife in the world now. There's the Middle East. It's terrible things are happening there. It never solves anything. Violence never solves anything. Only love will change the world. If we look at our anger and indignation, underneath is just tenderness, love, and sadness. It's all mixed together. But sometimes it's easier to be angry than it is to be sad and broken-hearted, isn't it? You know, so we revert to anger, pushing away. I tried to do this post a couple of times before when I was angry, but really I was just ignoring my broken heart. I am a tender-hearted person. But I don't buy into this patriotism. War is a terrible thing. It's always triggered by gross materialism and greed for power. That's all it is. No one is evil. They're not. No one does things for what they believe is the wrong reasons. People think they're right, but they might be misled or disillusioned or under an illusion. We always want to blame someone, don't we, for the way things are. My little friend the robin there. See him? Hello, little one. I'm sure it's the same robin. I've seen him a few times. So yeah. When I was a kid, I used to say when it rained it was God crying. I'm sure there's a lot of tears in heaven over what's happening on the earth. The suffering is unimaginable, isn't it? You know, I had a friend once. His granddad was always considered to be a drunk and a wife beater, and then later on he found out that his granddad was in the Second World War. The boat was sunk by a torpedo and he was floating around in oily water, bumping into dead bodies that were his friends. And he could never process it, so he suppressed it. So when he'd had a drink, it would come out as violence towards his wife and his children. And if you think about, you know, an event like war, how many millions of people did that affect? And that effect doesn't just stop. It carries on, doesn't it? Bumping into others, into our families. It spreads outwards. It's like the proverbial stone, isn't it? Thrown into the pond. It's catastrophic. And these effects are still being felt today, but people think that whatever arises in the present moment was born in the present moment, but it doesn't. It has its roots in the past. It does sound a bit hopeless, but we can do something about it. We can do something about it here, right now, here. In this heart, you know, in this mind, we can work on it. It's workable. And the answer isn't violence. I think it's actually touching into our tenderness, our broken heart. And when we do that, we can forgive. We can forgive our parents, our grandparents. Their eyes were closed. They just reacted without thinking. Yeah, so about 2 weeks ago my mum died. So I still feel really sad about that. Got some good memories of my mum. Anyway, I just thought I'd share these few thoughts with you. Some honest thoughts, you know. We should be honest with each other, shouldn't we? Anyway, I wish you love.